Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm so sorry I'm late. But the Beagle Queen got up and decided that she wanted to go out. Then Smokey decided he wanted to go out and they took their sweet time. So my apologies. I hate when I'm late. Let me look at the live chat. How's everyone doing? Samara, good morning. Uh-oh, it says, yeah, I had it set for PM, Samara, on accident. I'm sorry about that. Sunny side up, Lisa, Sapphire, never lose hope. Good morning, faithful one, shine on. It is Stacy, Cheryl Lynn, Cement Shoes, Lori Staggs. Good morning. How's everyone doing this morning? For some reason, when I set up my stream, it was set to PM. It's usually always fixed to AM, but for some reason it was set for PM and I didn't notice it. So my apologies. Anywho, we got a lot to talk about this morning. I saw an article that caught my eye. It was about a case that happened last year. Thomas Valva, I think that's how you say his name, case. 8 years old. He was killed by his cop dad. This happened in New York City, and his stepmom. They had been abusing this little boy, made him sleep out in the cold. He froze to death. He died. Well, now the CPS in that county, they're retraining their social workers and everything. And I want to read that article to y'all. Also, there was a woman in England that was killed by her rescue dog. It attacked her in her sleep. We're going to talk about that. And we're also going to talk about the winner of America's Worst Cook. She killed her adopted daughter. We're going to talk about that. There's a bunch of stuff going on in the true crime news, and I figured we would talk about my topics and then look at some more cases. Anywho, let me see what y'all are saying. Well, it's 2:30 Wednesday morning here. Oh, yeah, I forget that you're in a different time zone, shine on. Okay, so let me get over here. Screen share. Y'all know what I didn't do this morning? I've been running around like a chicken with its head cut off anyways. I didn't look to see if there was anything new in the West Brothers case. I need to do that. Oh, yeah. Also, we're going to talk about the grandfather that dropped his little 18-month-old granddaughter over the cruise ship. Remember, he dropped her out the window? He got sentenced. And we're going to talk about that case, too. And I got the surveillance footage. There's a little video with the article that shows when that happened. And something's really weird about that. At first, when I first heard about that case, I thought, oh, it's an accident. And then after I watched this surveillance video, it contradicts what the grandfather said. He said he didn't know the window was open. But on the surveillance video, he leans out that window before he even picks up his granddaughter. We'll talk about that in a minute, though. Okay, so here's little Thomas. Okay, it says, we need to do better. Death of Thomas Valva, who died after NYPD cop dad forced him to spend nights in freezing garage. It sparks CPS reform. Thank God. Every county in the United States needs to be doing some CPS reform, in my opinion. It's a damn shame that it takes the death of a child for them to do this. For real. Okay. After the death of an 8-year-old boy whose mother had repeatedly expressed concerns about her son's well-being in his father's care, Child Protective Services in Suffolk County, New York, will undergo systematic changes with the aim of preventing further tragedies like the death of little Thomas Valva. Maybe it's pronounced Valva, I'm not sure. As Crime Online previously reported, Thomas died of hypothermia in January 2020 after his father, Michael Valva, forced him to spend the night in an unheated garage at their Long Island home when temperatures had fallen well below freezing. An ensuing investigation found that Michael and his fiancee, Angela Paulina, had allegedly forced Michael's 3 sons to stay in the garage on multiple occasions in the past. Pure evil. I'd have thrown that bitch out on her head. I think she was the one that done most of the abuse, if I'm not mistaken. Since losing custody of her sons to Michael 2 years before the boy's death, Thomas's mother, Justine Valva, had repeatedly raised concerns about her ex-husband, alleging that Michael, who at the time was an NYPD traffic cop, was abusing Thomas and his 2 brothers, depriving them of food and inflicting severe punishments for minor infractions. She told Crime Online that she attempted to file a police report with Suffolk County Police, but claimed an officer laughed at her. I don't think they did anything about her reports because this Michael guy was a cop. If I'm not mistaken, Duty Ron, his channel, he covered this case really well. This week, Child Protective Services officials in Suffolk County told Newsday that they are implementing significant changes to their protocols in response to Thomas's preventable death. The agency is reportedly retraining caseworkers and making efforts to reduce caseloads while increasing caseworker supervision. In addition, caseworkers are being encouraged to solicit the observation of school teachers, coaches, non-custodial parents, and other people outside of the child's primary residence. It really has given an opportunity for everyone to say, we as a county need to come together to do better by our children. Sandra Davidson, Chief Deputy Commissioner of Social Services, told Newsday. It really has been a great experience working with everyone to address the gap. Well, y'all should have addressed this a long time ago. Okay. But Justina's attorney repeatedly said the measures being taken are too little, too late. John Norensberg is representing Thomas's mother in a $200 million lawsuit against Suffolk CPS and other Long Island officials, alleging that they ignored the repeated warnings of abuse. Those are all steps in the right direction, but the problem is in the system at the time was mostly deficient, and it really allowed for crimes to be committed against these children without any consequences at all until it was too late, Norensberg said. Both Valva and Paulina are in custody awaiting trial on charges of second-degree murder and endangering the welfare of a child. That's a damn shame that this mother tried to get them to do something about the abuse. She reported it to CPS and to the cops, and nobody took her seriously. And it's probably because this Michael guy, was a cop. It's exactly what happened. It's just a damn shame. This sweet boy had to go through that torture and his siblings. I remember, I didn't follow this case closely, but I remember watching a video last year that the biological mom put up, and her and one of Thomas's siblings went to visit his grave. It was so damn pitiful. Every CPS, every county needs to reform their CPS agency, in my opinion. Let me look at the chat. Y'all probably know more about this case than I do because I didn't follow it closely. She tried for over a year of reporting a lot. She'll probably win that lawsuit if she's, got documentation. She filed police reports and stuff. I'm sure she does. She's going to win that lawsuit. Yeah, his dad was a cop. That's why no one took it seriously, I think. Just because someone's a cop don't mean they're a good person. It don't mean they're not abusive just because they're a cop. It needs federal, not state reform. Right. I don't know what it's called, but I know they need to do something. They also need to do something about after kids are adopted, no one checks in on them. I know after kids are adopted, they're considered their kids, right? But still, most of this abuse that happens by adoptive parents, it happens after the adoption is finalized, right? When they don't have a caseworker checking in on them anymore. Like I say, there's a lot of good adoptive parents. There's a lot of bad. A lot of good bio parents, a lot of bad bio parents. Hard to call everyone to go over his department. Yeah, and I would say the people that she talked to, they will probably lose their jobs. Like the cop that laughed at her, if she can prove that, didn't take her seriously, he could lose his job, he or she. I am so sick of hearing about abused children and get so angry when I hear how many cases are ignored by those meant to stop abuse. Glad some action is being taken, but how much will actually change? Good question. Sapphire, if the state is still providing money, the adoptive parents definitely should be looked in my opinion. Yeah, I agree with that. And a lot of them do receive benefits after they adopt them. Hey, Morgan. I hope they do lose their job. Me too. He was already so cold from the night before he couldn't stand up. And plus, he hadn't been getting food and being beat on. I just don't understand how anyone could beat on a child, their own child or any child for that matter. I'll never understand it. And a lot of people you'll hear about, well, they were abused as a child. Well, you know what? I was abused as a child, and it made me just want to be a big grizzly mama bear. You know, I'm very gentle with my son, animals, and everything. So I just think that's a bullshit excuse. A lot of people are abused in this world, and they don't grow up to be monsters. I hate when people use that excuse. Okay. Prayers for Thomas's mom and his siblings, his entire family, except for that monster dad and that step monster of his. I don't even want to call her stepmom. I get so mad and emotional about these cases, guys. I get speechless. I start stuttering. I start not being able to pronounce words. So my apologies. I can't help it. Okay, so now we are going to talk about the winner of Worst Cooks in America. Oh, my bad. I thought it was called America's Worst Cooks. It doesn't matter. This woman, everybody just thought she was the greatest. She's got 2 or 3 adopted children. Let me see. I got all kinds of notes here. She adopted 3 white kids, 2 African American kids. And she beat one of them to death. Days before she murdered little Victoria, she had made a tweet about white privilege. And they've got an article wrote up about it. But it seems like to me that she may have disliked this sweet child because of the color of her skin. It's a damn shame. Everybody in my eyes is equal. You know? Don't matter the skin color. I can't believe a grown adult would discriminate against a little child. But it happens. Happens a lot. Okay. Worst Cooks in America winner tweeted about white privilege before she allegedly killed adopted daughter. Ariel Robinson of South Carolina, woman accused of killing her 2-year-old daughter, apparently tweeted about white privilege before the child's death. Ariel Robinson is 29, her husband Jerry Robinson, 34. They are behind bars facing homicide by child abuse charges. Authorities found 3-year-old Victoria Smith unresponsive at the couple's Simpsonville home off of Selwood Circle on January 14th. The child later passed away at the Prism Health Greenville Memorial Hospital. An autopsy reported that Victoria died from multiple injuries caused by blunt force trauma. Ariel Robinson, a mother of 5 and a former teacher at Sanders Middle School in Simpsonville, is known for winning season 20 of Food Network's Worst Cooks in America. On January 6th, Robinson, who has 2 black children, 3 white children, tweeted that all her children will be treated the same, following the hashtag no hashtag white privilege. Here's the tweet. In my house, my black children get treated the same as my white children, and my white children get treated the same as my black children. It's a shame that when they go out into the real world, that won't be the case. Hashtag white privilege, hashtag Black Lives Matter. And she says, I'm a mama bear. I'll do anything to protect my children and make sure their futures are equally bright because they have the same opportunities and are treated as equals the way God made them. There should be no hashtag white privilege, only American privilege. Hashtag equality for all. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. I think everybody should be treated the same, in my opinion. Ariel Robinson told Greenville News last year that Victoria and her 2 siblings moved in with her and her husband in March. The Robinsons reportedly adopted all 3 kids. We will watch this little video of Victoria. The South Carolina Department of Social Services released a statement last month following the news of the couple's arrest. The South Carolina Department of Social Services is aware of allegations and arrests made and is investigating along with law enforcement. The agency's standard procedures in cases like this involve taking appropriate action with any children remaining in the home after evaluating safety and risk. SLED, local authorities, and the coroner's office are currently investigating the case. Both suspects remain behind bars awaiting a bond hearing on February the 12th. And little Victoria did die from blunt force trauma. Let me...
Girl, what's going on with your hair?
Maybe it too when I was sleeping.
Oh, what happened to it?
Maybe I was
Can you hear that?
You asleep?
Uh-huh.
What'd you do to it?
Maybe I was going crazy wasn't sleep.
You did what?
Maybe I wasn't crazy when sleep.
You was looking crazy when you was asleep?
Uh-huh.
Oh, girl, what's wrong with it now?
Now it's crazy.
What you gonna do to it?
Oh, don't worry, Mom. You can fix it.
Don't worry, Mom, you can fix it. Yeah, I can fix it.
Yeah, because you put it in your water ponytail just when I go to sleep.
Yeah, I can put it in a ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
What we gonna do to it?
But we need to brush it first.
Why?
Because it's nappy too.
Oh, we need to brush it because it's nappy?
Uh-huh. It's nappy too.
It's nappy too, girl?
Uh-huh.
Oh, girl, it is nappy, girl.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna fix that, okay?
Okay.
Watching that right there, I mean, she seems like she's a nice mom. Something about little Victoria in that video. Did you guys notice how dark her eyes are underneath? Now, my eyes sometimes get like that, and my son's, but my son's never get as bad as hers. Maybe she's lacking some vitamins. That broke my heart, seeing her in her little unicorn nightgown, knowing the woman behind the camera videoing killed her. And the husband. The husband was involved too, Jerry Robinson. And one of them hit this little girl in the head repeatedly with an object, from my understanding. It's so sad. I saw this last night. I was taking notes about it last night, and I broke down crying. She just seemed like the sweetest little thing. They said that when she walked into the room, she just lit up the whole room. All eyes was on her. Bless her little heart. It's so sad. I wonder what made her snap. Now, based on this article, I think they're trying to insinuate that maybe she had a problem with Victoria being a white child. I don't know. I have a biracial son, and I am proud he's never faced racism except when it comes to official government paperwork. Oh, that's good. Shine on. I just can't. All people are created equal to me. And a kid's a kid. I don't, skin color, I've just never thought about things like that, I can't believe an adult would discriminate against a little small child like that. I were to be able to believe it, though, the way this world is, it's filled with evil, evil people. These cases, guys, has got me down in the dumps this morning. I'm sorry. For real. Let me see what y'all are saying. When the story broke, we found her Twitter fast. There's tons of racists in her comments too. Can't say nothing without an attack. Yes, I got a 12-hour ban. Yeah, I don't want to say much either. I don't want to, offend anyone. She seems like she may be a little prejudiced. I don't know if it's racist. A little prejudice against white people. I just don't understand people like that. Like, we're all human beings. We all bleed the same. We all hurt the same. We've all got the same things inside of us. We just look different. Hey, the world would be a boring place if everybody was the same skin colors and same cultures. I mean, it'd be boring. Thank you, Cece. Thank you talking about this with us, Cece. I know it sucks, but we appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, Sapphire. I appreciate y'all too. After today, I'm not doing no kids cases the rest of the freaking week. I'm going to try not to because it has zapped me today. I just don't even know what to say besides just read to y'all what's going on. I mean, I'm just at a loss for words. People are just so freaking evil. Prayers for little Victoria's siblings. I was trying to find what happened to the other kids. Because there was, let's see, 4 other kids in the house besides Victoria. I'm assuming that they were probably took and put into foster care. Little Victoria had been in foster care her whole life, and 3 years. The whole 3 years she was alive, she was in foster care. Now, she was with another family, and they said that she was just the best child. And when she went to live with the Robinsons said that she was a perfect fit for their family. So, anyways, they were just completely blown away that they murdered little Victoria. They just didn't seem like the type of people that would abuse a child. I don't watch the Food Network a whole lot. Sometimes I watch them when they're like doing like the Halloween bake-offs and stuff like that. Okay, what else am I going to tell you about? Oh, yeah, the grandfather in the cruise ship. I'm trying to find it. This is a really sad case. At first, I thought, oh my gosh, this is an accident. I don't know if it was an accident or not, just to be honest with you. I know the grandfather seemed devastated. Let me get my notes for this. This family was on a vacation. They were docked in Puerto Rico. They were on a cruise ship. My mouse is not working. Crap. Hold on, guys. Okay, here we go. I didn't screen share it correctly. Okay. Her name was Chloe Wiegand. I had to look up how to pronounce the name this morning. Grandfather who dropped taught 11 floors to her death aboard cruise ship is sentenced after guilty plea. An Indiana grandfather who pleaded guilty to negligent homicide after dropping his granddaughter through an 11th floor cruise ship window learned his sentencing on Monday. Chloe Wiegand, an 18-month-old toddler from Granger, Indiana, was on a cruise with her family when she lost her life aboard Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas cruise ship. The ship was docked in Puerto Rico at the time of the incident on July 7, 2019. Chloe died after landing on the hard concrete surface of the Pan American dock. Excuse me. She was playing with her grandfather, Salvatore Anello, in the children's H2O zone, children's water park, when she fell from an open window. Anello, who often accompanied Chloe to her brother's hockey games, where she enthusiastically banged on the hockey rink glass panel, said he lifted the girl up at her request while they were in the play area. He said Chloe slipped from his grip and her death was an accident. There's little Chloe. You know what this is a sad case, but her parents had a hard time conceiving her. I think they used in vitro to get pregnant. In November 2019, San Juan Investigations Chamber Judge Jimmy Sepulveda ruled that prosecutors provided probable cause for the arrest of Anello. Although Anello initially pleaded not guilty to negligent homicide charge, he ultimately changed his mind. He said he wanted to plead guilty so his family could get closure and begin the healing process. The Wiegand family's attorney, Michael Winkelman, previously said that the plea deal meant no jail time and no omission of facts. Winkelman added it was a difficult decision for Anello. Justice officials said Monday that Anello was sentenced to 3 years of probation. Winkelman said Anello will serve probation in his home state. Meanwhile, Chloe's parents, Alan and Kim Wiegand, are still pursuing a federal lawsuit against Royal Caribbean, claiming the cruise ship line acted negligently when it failed to place a sign that could have warned others that the window was open. Royal Caribbean Cruises filed a motion in response in January 2020. The cruise line indicated that video footage showed Anello leaning over the ledge at the window and looking out before he picked his granddaughter up and held her by it. Within minutes, he lost his grasp and Chloe fell. And it does show that in the video. I watched it. We can take a look at it. He did lean out the window. He knew the window was open. I don't know why he's lying about that. When he arrives at the open window and while Chloe is on the floor, Mr. Anello leans his upper torso over the wooden railing and out of the window frame for approximately 8 seconds. The cruise line's court motion stated, according to an NBC News release. Because Mr. Anello had himself leaned out the window, he was well aware that the window is open. His actions, which no reasonable person could have foreseen, were reckless and irresponsible, and the sole reason why Chloe is no longer with her parents. The motion also accused Anello of recklessly endangering the toddler's life. The only reasonable conclusion from the video is that Mr. Anello knew the window was open before picking up Chloe. He nonetheless lifted the child over the wooden railing and the open window for a considerable period, recklessly endangering her life. There was no hidden danger. Mr. Anello knew the window was open. Winkleman argued that the Freedom of the Seas ship didn't meet industry safety standards. He did know the window was open, guys. We'll watch the video. You can see for yourselves. He leans out, and I did count it. He leaned out over the railing for 8 seconds before he picked up the baby. So he did know the window was open. This is not some freak accident, family lawyer Michael Winkleman told NBC News. This was something that was a preventable accident. These windows are entirely not compliant with the standard for windows on cruise ships. That may be true, but he knew the window was open. He leaned out of it. See, I never did know that. I didn't follow this case closely. I followed it when there's been updates in the news a little bit, and I never did know this. Let's see. Well, we don't need the volume. Let me know if you guys can see it, and you can follow the arrow where they're at. Where is the daggone phone? See, they're walking over. He's holding little Chloe's hand. See? There he goes. He's leaned out the window, guys. He knew that window was open. Let's see. I'm going to make sure this is playing for y'all. Okay, it is. Yeah, he definitely knew the window was open. I'm not going to say he dropped her on purpose. It probably was an accident, but he knew the window was open. You never know about some people. People can pretend to be good people and not have a criminal past and do something mean on purpose, I'm not saying that's the case here, but wouldn't surprise me any. Let me see if I can fix this. Because my little sticker up at the top is blocking what y'all need to see. Crap. Let me see if I can do it. Okay. I can fix it like that for y'all. Now, that's when he dropped her. Let me go back a little bit. Let me see. Okay, let's see. He's leaning out the window before he even picks her up. Let's just watch it again. See, he picks her up. And within a matter of minutes, he's dropped her seconds. And you see everybody rushing over there. He clearly leaned out that window before he picked that baby up. He knew the window was open. Maybe he's afraid to admit that. I don't know. But he clearly knew the window was open. Okay. Seems like he hung her over that railing for a really long time if you pay attention. You can tell when it happens because people start rushing that way. I mean, what was he doing dangling her over that like that? Reminds me of when Michael Jackson did that in Germany. Remember when he brought his baby out on the balcony? Okay, see, and this is when it happened. Everybody's rushing over there. See what I mean, guys? I don't know. Something's weird about that. I think he knew the window was open. 11 floors. She dropped down 11 floors and hit concrete. Hit a concrete deck, guys. I wouldn't have showed that if it'd been a close-up view, but we couldn't actually see the baby drop. That's the only reason I showed it. I was shocked when I seen that he had leaned out that window, and I counted it to make sure they was correct. He did lean out at 8 seconds. Now, I feel bad for him. That's something that he will have to live with the rest of his life, but that was reckless. For real. I mean, that's just my opinion. It's just sad. I hate it for her parents. I hate it for him. Like I said, they had tried for a long time, from what I understand, to have a baby. Then they, I think they did in vitro, and she finally got pregnant. So she was their little miracle child. And they only got to keep her 3 years. It's not fair. It's sad. How many times have you picked up your child and just lightly threw them in the air and caught them? Today, that would be a death sentence if you dropped your child. Yeah, Timothy's daddy used to do that to him when he was a baby, and it used to make me so mad because I was always afraid, he wouldn't throw him up high, but you know how you just bounce the babies up in the air. Lisa Irwin, yes, I remember Michael Jackson doing that. What if he had lost grip of that baby? Oh, goodness. I couldn't believe he dangled that baby over the railing like that. I think he immediately regretted it afterwards, though. I watched a good documentary about Michael Jackson a while back. And he was talking about that incident and everything. The son-in-law is a state trooper, I believe. Oh, really? So I'm assuming that is Chloe's mom's dad, right? Yeah, because his last name is Anello or something like that. They said he pleaded guilty to probation so they could go on with the civil case. Yeah, he said, he didn't want to drag his family through anymore. And so he decided to plead guilty so they can get some closure and grieve and try to move on. There shouldn't have been any windows open if, that was an area for kids to play. But then again, I just can't understand why he lifted her up over that. From my understanding, he said he didn't know the window was open, and he kind of lifted her up and she leaned up against the glass and fell. That's not what the video shows. He clearly knew that window was open. From what I saw, you could see him lean over the railing clearly. So I don't know. I don't know if they'll win that lawsuit or not. If the ship wasn't up to standards, they may. I think Michael Jackson was so messed up because his childhood career was total abuse, if you ask me. Poor guy never had a childhood. Yes, that is why Michael Jackson was so weird acting. And liked all those weird things and stuff. He never got to experience his childhood. I investigated or researched Michael Jackson. I used to think that he abused those boys. I'm not sure Michael Jackson did that. Really. Macaulay Culkin, he said Michael Jackson never done anything to him. I don't know. There's just something weird about his accusers. Like the one boy, he still had contact with Michael even after he was like a grown man. And I was thinking, like, I know I sure wouldn't be friends with my abuser. For real. I guess everyone's different. I think he was just trying to, what they call, reparent himself, and where he didn't get to have a childhood. I think that's why he liked being around those young kids, because he was really, in his mind, childlike. His dad was really abusive to him. Really. Marilyn Manson is the weirdo king. Marilyn isn't too bad either. Now, there's some allegations about Marilyn Manson right now that he abused a girl, right? He raped her. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. A lot of these Hollywood celebrities think they can just get by with everything. Look at Epstein. But then again, sometimes there are people that come out and accuse famous people or people with money of doing things to them when they really didn't, just because they're trying to get some money or something, So who knows if it's true or not? I'd like to see some evidence. I remember Michael Jackson holding his kid over the balcony. About gave me a heart attack. Yeah, he was high on pills, I think. Hey, Save Robbie. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, sweetie. Love your new hamster, Carol. I left you a comment. I hope she wasn't cray-cray like Carol Baskin. Oh, y'all check out Save Robbie. He's got some good music. He's got a cute hamster. And he's a cool person. He's a cool person. Carol Shore is something. So she's a little cray-cray. But you know what? I like an animal with a little spunk. It can be annoying when you need to deal with them, like handle them, clean their cages or something. But I like an animal with spunk. I got a spunky rooster and a spunky goat. Sonny's mean as hell. That's the devil's rooster. Oh my goodness. Speaking of pets, I've got another topic to share with y'all. This woman in the UK was killed by a dog she adopted. She rescued. It attacked her in her sleep. It ripped her freaking arm off. And I have never heard of this dog breed in my life. It's called a Staffordshire crossbreed. We're going to look it up and see what it is. I want to show y'all her picture. Beautiful. Now, her neighbors said that they heard her screaming. Let me get the article. Oh my goodness. I see something about the Parkland shooter too. Here it is. What is going on with dogs? Like, we've heard a bunch of different stories in the last 6 months of dogs, rescue dogs, attacking and killing people. You know what I think it is? I think these dogs are abused and they have PTSD. I think this dog must have PTSD. Maybe her arm or something moved or flopped off the bed and it just attacked her. Rescue dog fatally mauls owner, rips her arm off as she sleeps in bed. Look how pretty this girl is. You know, when I first looked at this dog's picture, I thought this dog was a pit bull. Guess not. A woman in England was killed Friday after a rescue dog apparently mauled her as she slept in bed. Kira Ladlow, 25, was alone in her Birmingham home at the time of the fatal incident. A relative ultimately found her and alerted authorities. Officials have not confirmed whether a Staffordshire crossbreed is responsible for Kira's death. However, the dog was reportedly turned over to police to be euthanized. A source told The Sun that neighbors heard Kira screaming for help as the dog loudly barked. Kira suffered injuries serious injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene. Residents told the news outlet that the deceased woman's dog had bit her arm off as she lay in bed. How the hell did it bite her arm off? According to Birmingham Live, West Midlands Police said they are treating Kira Ladlow's death as suspicious and that her case has been turned over to the coroner. What if someone else came into that? I don't know. I started to say, what if someone else caused that dog to do that or something? Have y'all ever heard of that breed? Staffordshire? I've never heard of that in my life. I'm going to look it up, though, right now. They are a terrier? No, CC, this is an aggressive breed. Oh, Robbie, welcome to the membership. Welcome to Southern Royalty. Thank you so much. Yeah, he's the Devil's Rooster Sapphire. So, okay, so they are an aggressive breed. I have never heard of this breed. Well, it said it, okay, it says terrier when I punched it in. When I was punching in Staffordshire, it popped up terrier. Okay. Let's screen share this. I cannot believe I've never even heard of this dog breed. That's weird because I'm all into animals, dogs. Okay, here's some of them are. They do look like a pit bull, don't they? They really do. I mean, to me, probably pit bull owners can tell a difference, but where I don't own one, I'm not into the breed. I mean, at first glance, that's what I thought the dog was, a pit bull. Wow. Damn, they're muscular. They're got little short legs. This one does. I mean, why would it just attack her and her asleep in the bed? That don't even make sense, does it? I think these dogs, some of these dogs that attack, they've been abused and they have PTSD and something simple triggers them and they go berserk. They go crazy. Yeah, Miss Jones. And then add a shire to the end of it. Staffordshire Terrier. Hey, Juju. Good morning. They're often used for dog fights. Wow. Maybe he was having a senior moment or was thinking of something from his past. Uh-oh, it scrolled on me. I was thinking, you know what I was thinking? You're probably right, Miss Jones. He's had PTSD, had a flashback. I was thinking maybe her arm fell off of the bed or something, and while she was asleep, and that triggered the dog, and he grabbed out of her arm and just went from there. Juju has a pit bull. You know, pit bulls get a bad rap, I think. I've been around a lot of sweet pit bulls. I think it's all in how they're raised. And if you notice, a lot of these dog attacks, when pit bulls are involved, they are rescue pit bulls. And you don't never know what a rescue's been through. Most of them's been abused. Dogs have feelings. They can get PTSD. They can have bad nerves. My ladybug, she still hunkers down to the ground. Her first owners abused her. They tried to beat her into potty training. Can't beat a dog and train it. Plus, they withheld food from her. And she still hunkers down when you walk up to her and rolls over on her back. She probably still remembers what they did to her. I have a phobia about big dogs after one chased me and my mom when I was a kid. It got taken away because it was part wolf. You know what dogs I'm afraid of? Rottweilers. I'm afraid of those dogs. I used to have a friend. When you pulled up at his house, you couldn't even get out of the vehicle for that dog. He would even try to bite your damn tires. And he would say, oh, come on, get out of the car. It won't hurt you. And I was like, he may not hurt you, but I'm not getting out of the car and him acting aggressive like that. We had a rot when I was a kid. She was protective of us, but she would try to attack people. And she did kill another dog. We had to put her down. She was extremely spoiled. I had a big husky one time. Sweet as pie she was. Her name was Cheyenne. But she would kill every small animal she could get her paws on. Everyone she could sink her teeth into. She ripped my granny's cat apart right in front of her. Oh my gosh. And Granny has never let me forget that. I felt so bad. She killed Tom right in front of Granny Betty. My Chinese zodiac is a dog. Oh, really? I'm a monkey, I think. Yeah. I love beagles. They're the best. Oh, yeah. Beagles are the best. I recommend people with kids, if they're going to get a dog, get a beagle. Beagles love kids. Skylar loves all kids. She loves almost everybody. Now, she don't love squirrels and birds, but she gets along with most animals. Indeed, dogs have PTSD. Yes. My mom married a guy who had an ex-canine German Shepherd. He was our babysitter when I was 9. Hey, do y'all remember there was a guy, he was a reporter. He was doing an interview with a cop and his canine dog. And he got bent down, kind of stooped down, and got in that dog's face and was just petting him. And that dog bit him right on camera, right in the freaking face. Y'all remember that? I was like, damn. I love the working dogs like shepherds. Yeah. Now, my ladybug, she's beagle and she's got border collie in her. I think border collies are similar to shepherds, aren't they? Labradors is where it's, oh, yeah, they're good dogs too. Yeah, I had a lab when I was growing up named Astro. He was awesome. He saved me from getting snake bit one day. CC, that's a good theory. Maybe he did think that her arm's sudden movement triggered him. That is the only thing I can think of. Like, why he would just attack her in her asleep. Her arm must have fell off the bed and it startled him. Made him have a flashback and he attacked her. Springer Spaniels are great family dogs. Oh, yeah, they're pretty too. A dog that I like is the German short-haired pointer. Is that what it's called? I think they're called that. I love those dogs. They're pretty. Being bit in the face is the scariest thing. I got bit in the mouth when I was little by a little chihuahua. We were visiting an elderly lady, and she had these 2 older dogs, and his name was Tiny. I think his name was Tiny. He was in my lap, and I tried to kiss him. I was just a little bitty girl, and he bit me. Bit me right in the mouth. It didn't make me scared of dogs or anything. It made me not put my face up in a dog's face no more. Sometimes those little chihuahuas and stuff, when they get older, they can be quite hateful. I used to have one. I mean, she wasn't hateful with me, but with strangers and stuff, she was quite hateful and aggressive. There's a little chihuahua down the road. It cracks me up. I'm always worried it's going to get run over. Its owner lets it outside by itself. So when I go by their house, it's always coming out in the road. I have to drive real slow. But it always acts like it's the biggest badass. Like it's just going to tear my Jeep apart. It probably don't weigh 1 pound. Oh, it cracks me up every time I see it. Yes, his name was Astro. My dad had bought a house and the owners had like that. I think it's a baseball team called the Astros. Yeah, anyways, the dog came with the house and we had him and we had Astro until he passed. But he was a good dog. He was one of those he was a lab with the golden coat, but it was a short coat. I have a Chiweenie. She is very hateful to outsiders coming in. She acts like the aggressor versus my pit bull. Them little dogs, man, they got attitude. I mean, they act like they weigh like 100 pounds or something. I adopted a German short-haired pointer for music exec who died. Oh, really? Do you still have it? I watch a lot of the German short-haired pointers on TikTok. I love them. They're awesome. They're beautiful dogs. They're highly intelligent. Beagles are intelligent too. They're just kind of divas, drama queens and kings. Laugh out loud. Long story. Okay. Maybe you can tell me about it sometime. Big dog in a small body. I know it. I was in the video store a long time ago, years ago, waiting to check out a video. And this guy had this little bitty teacup Pomeranian. And if you even got near that man, that dog would go crazy. I have never seen a little dog that mean in my life. I mean, it was rolling up its lip. You could see its teeth. He was like, touch me on the shoulder and see how it acts. So I did. That little dog went crazy. We're talking about a little teacup Pomeranian. It wasn't big as nothing. Dachshunds are dicks. My mom has 2 of those. 2 of the weenie dogs. Yeah, she's got a boy and a girl. My son named the boy Raptor. I'm like, son, why couldn't you have picked a better name than Raptor? He loves velociraptors. I guess that's why he named the dog that. I love how they name Chihuahuas Nacho or Taco. I had a long-haired Chihuahua. She was jet black for 10 years. Her name was Bear. She wasn't big as anything. She was a good dog, a loyal dog, smart. But she didn't like anyone but me. She wouldn't go outside for anyone but me. Someone else opened up the door, she wouldn't take a step outside. Nope. Had to be me. My aunt had a Pomeranian. It was all black. I remember sneaking around at night as a teen, and that dog would come out of nowhere. We called it Night Ninja. I had a black Pomeranian too. And when I was in high school, and I had this boyfriend that was older than me, and my dog would stay at his house a lot because my mom didn't like dogs inside, and he had got me the dog. But anyways, we broke up, and he kept my dog and wouldn't give it back to me. And I really didn't put up that much of a fuss about it because I was a teenager, and my mom, you know, she didn't like dogs inside, so more or less I just had to let him keep her, and she ended up being his mom's dog. But she was solid black, and she was all fluffy. She was pretty. Oh, thanks, Sapphire. You know, I never think about the thumbs up. I've always got mine turned off. It's just set like that in my YouTube settings. But anywho, so what are y'all going to do today? Let's look. I want to look and see if there's anything about the West Brothers before I get off here. Hopefully tomorrow's stream is better. I had some anxiety this morning, and these kids' cases really get to me. And when I get like that, I can't talk. I can't think. I just get really quiet. This bothers me. Okay. I don't see anything besides, excuse me, reward for missing boys rises to $120,000. I don't know what's going to happen with that case. We're just going to have to wait and see what Cal City police do. Whether they make an arrest or not, they may not have any evidence to make an arrest, you know? I don't think it's going to turn into a cold case, though. I just think that we're just going to have some patience. I missed the entire stream of cases. Yes. Yeah, you did, Juju. I did them in the first part of the stream. I got a Great Dane pit mix. He is the biggest baby. Yeah. Pit bulls and stuff, they get a bad rap, but it's all in how you raise dogs. Right? That's what I think. I think if you're abusive to a dog, then that can cause it to bite and stuff. And if you teach them to be mean, I've seen some people try to teach their dogs to be mean. That is so stupid. Our local shelter is full of pit bulls. Most of them have been confiscated. Yeah. You know, the only thing about adopting a rescue dog is you don't, most of the time, well, a lot of the times, you don't know their back history, if they've been abused or not. And like I said, I believe dogs can suffer from PTSD from being abused. They can. They have feelings. So, you're taking a risk when you do rescue a dog. I hate to say that, but it is the truth. Just if you're going to rescue, try to find out a little history if you can. And if I was going to rescue a big dog, I would keep it away from small kids and small animals for quite a while till I seen how its behavior was, and then try to introduce it to maybe a smaller dog or something. But you got to be careful. There was a case out of North Carolina, I believe it was North Carolina, where a woman had been taking care of a pit bull that had been dropped off on her property. She had been trying to find it a home. She had kept it isolated for a couple of weeks away from her small child. She tested it around other small animals, and then she let her son around the dog, and the dog attacked the little boy and killed him right in front of her eyes and the dad's eyes. And there was nothing they could do. I mean, it killed him within a matter of seconds. So just be careful if you adopt or rescue. Yeah, it was really sad. And people, were giving this mom a hard time. Hell, she didn't know that dog would do that. And like she said, she kept the dog isolated, away from her kid and away from small dogs for a while. And then she introduced it to, some smaller dogs. She was an advocate for pit bulls. And she never dreamed that something like that would happen. The dog seemed fine. And then all of a sudden it just attacked her son. I don't know what he was doing with the dog, if he was petting it, if they were just standing there or what. But the dog did kill him. My son was at my house when my husband was dying. He adopted him just a few days before. Blue was a puppy. He was healing from being beaten. He is a very friendly dog. We are healing together. Yeah. Well, if you get them when they're a puppy, like my ladybug, she was abused when she was real little. But I still got her when she was quite young. She was probably 4 or 5 months old. She was still a pup. But, I mean, she does a lot better than when I first got her, but she still hunkers down. She still remembers. And I think it's habit. I think she's gotten the habit of doing that. She would, when I first got her, when you walked up to her, she would roll on her back and start peeing. She don't do that no more. And I think that was from being abused. Prayers, Booze Love. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get off here and get some things done around the house. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for chatting. I will see y'all tomorrow. Same place, same time. Be safe, be kind, and peace.